Welcome to World Code Updates, your daily source for global events and breaking stories. Tonight, breaking news is sending ripples of anticipation and uncertainty across the vast Indo-Pacific region. In a historic development, Japan has officially transferred 6 advanced warships to the Philippines, a move that is already redefining regional alliances and shifting the balance of power. Once wartime adversaries, Japan and the Philippines are now forging a powerful and unprecedented security partnership. The former Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force vessels arrived in Subic Bay, marking a pivotal moment and signaling a new era for Philippine maritime power and regional cooperation. This isn't just a hardware transfer, it's a bold statement amid the rapidly shifting geopolitics of the South China Sea. Philippine sailors in crisp uniforms watched with pride and anticipation as the Abukuma-Class destroyer escorts docked, symbols of hope, responsibility, and a new chapter in national defense. For years, the Philippine Navy patrolled with aging, underfunded ships, often outmatched by regional threats. Now they have 6 modern warships, equipped with advanced technology and weaponry. This moment represents a profound shift in the nation's ability to defend its waters and assert its sovereignty. For Filipinos, it's a source of pride, and a reminder of the risks in a tense region. The South China Sea is a flashpoint, and these ships raise the stakes, sending a clear message to all players in the region. It's a calculated risk by Manila and Tokyo. Strength is the path to stability. This transfer is the result of years of careful diplomacy, mutual trust, and shared urgency over China's assertiveness. Both nations depend on freedom of the seas for their economies and security. Watching China build artificial islands and harass vessels, they knew they had to act. This deal is their answer, a clear signal they won't stand idly by. They are drawing a line in the water. The world is watching what happens next, as the Philippines and Japan step forward together, determined to shape the future of the Indo-Pacific and defend the principles they hold dear. The transfer of 6 warships is nothing short of historic, the largest Philippine naval acquisition in a generation, and a moment that will be remembered for years to come. This isn't just a routine upgrade, it's a turning point for the Philippine Navy and the entire region. Previously, the Philippine Navy was a patchwork of aging patrol craft, many of them decades old and outmatched in contested waters. These ships struggled to keep up with modern threats, leaving the country vulnerable and unable to assert its rights in disputed seas. This deal is a transformation, giving the Philippines a credible deterrent for the first time in decades. With these new warships, the country can finally project strength and protect its maritime interests with confidence. The surprise isn't just the number of ships but their origin. Japan, a nation long restricted by its pacifist constitution, is now stepping up as a security provider. This is a dramatic shift from Japan's post-war stance, signaling a new era in regional defense cooperation. This marks a major shift in Japanese foreign policy and its role in the region. By providing advanced warships, Japan is signaling its willingness to take on a more active role in maintaining peace and stability in Asia. For the Philippines, it's a vote of confidence from a major power, a clear sign that it is not alone in facing regional challenges. This partnership brings new hope and reassurance to a nation seeking to defend its sovereignty. For Japan, it's a strategic investment in regional stability. By supporting the Philippines, Japan is also protecting its own interests and helping to shape the security environment of the Indo-Pacific. By strengthening the Philippines, Japan strengthens itself. The two countries are now more closely linked, their destinies intertwined in the face of shared challenges. This shared destiny is the foundation of the agreement. It's about more than ships, it's about trust, cooperation, and a commitment to mutual defense. The message is clear. The Philippines is no longer a passive observer in its own backyard. With these new capabilities, it can actively defend its territory and assert its rights. For years, diplomatic protests and legal victories felt hollow without the power to enforce them. The country's claims were often ignored and its voice drowned out by stronger powers. These ships provide steel to back up the paper. Now the Philippines has the means to turn words into action, and to stand firm in the face of intimidation. It tells the world, and Beijing, that the Philippines is now an active player, backed by a powerful friend. This new alliance sends a strong signal that the status quo is changing. The balance of power in the region is shifting. As new alliances form and old ones strengthen, the dynamics of the South China Sea are being rewritten before our eyes. This deal is about more than hardware. It's about alliance and resolve. It's a declaration that the Philippines and Japan are ready to face the future together, no matter what challenges arise. The Philippines now has the means to defend its claims, to protect its people, and to ensure its voice is heard on the world stage. The stakes have never been higher. In this new era, every decision, every alliance, and every ship matters more than ever before. To truly grasp the impact of this transformation, consider the Philippine Navy's state before these new ships arrived: obsolete, under-resourced, and consistently outgunned by regional neighbors. The fleet was a patchwork of aging vessels, many of which were decades past their prime, struggling to keep up with modern maritime threats. The flagship was once a World War II relic, a floating museum piece that had seen better days. It was a symbol of a bygone era, more suited for display than for defending the nation's waters. Patrolling 36,000 kilometers of coastline with such outdated vessels was not just difficult, it was nearly impossible. The sheer scale of the maritime domain overwhelmed the Navy's limited capabilities. The arrival of the Abukuma-Class ships represents a quantum leap forward. These ships are faster, equipped with state-of-the-art sensors, and possess real anti-submarine and anti-surface warfare capabilities, features that were previously out of reach for the Philippine Navy. Suddenly, the Navy can protect vital sea lanes, intercept intruders, and respond to threats with confidence. The ability to monitor and secure maritime borders has been dramatically enhanced. The mission profile has shifted from limited coastal patrols to sustained open ocean operations. The Navy can now project power far beyond the shoreline, operating in deeper waters for extended periods. Now, the Philippines can escort convoys, participate in international exercises, and maintain a persistent presence in the West Philippine Sea, asserting its sovereignty and building partnerships with allies. This is a true strategic game-changer, moving the Navy from a purely defensive posture to one of credible deterrence. The ability to deter aggression and respond proactively is now within reach. The psychological boost for sailors and the nation is immense. For the first time in generations, there is a sense of pride and renewed purpose within the ranks. Imagine facing down a modern warship with a 70-year-old vessel. Now that's changed. The playing field is leveling, and the Navy is no longer at a disadvantage. These new ships instill confidence and professionalism, raising standards and expectations across the fleet. The government and its allies are finally investing in the Navy, recognizing its vital role in national security and regional stability. Morale is a critical component of an effective fighting force, and with these upgrades, the Navy's spirit and motivation have never been higher. The Philippine Navy is no longer just a coastal force. It is expanding its reach, capabilities, and ambitions. It's stepping onto the regional stage, ready to play a more influential role in shaping the security and stability of Southeast Asia. Why is Japan making this move now? It's not charity, it's strategy. Japan is deeply concerned about China's military expansion and sees the South China Sea's security as vital to its own. Strengthening the Philippines is forward defense for Japan, keeping trade routes open and stable. Instead of deploying its own forces, Japan empowers regional partners, a cost-effective way to protect its interests. This transfer also signals Japan's shift from post-war pacifism to proactive security leadership. It builds goodwill and influence in Southeast Asia, where Japan competes with China. The move is closely coordinated with the United States, fitting into a broader Indo-Pacific strategy. The goal, a network of like-minded nations to balance China's power. By strengthening the Philippines, Japan also strengthens the US-Japan-Philippines alliance. America's allies are stepping up, sharing the security burden. This creates a more resilient regional security architecture. The region is less susceptible to coercion from any single power. The Abukuma-Class destroyer escorts are a massive upgrade for the Philippines, designed for anti-submarine and anti-surface warfare. They feature rapid-fire guns, anti-ship missiles, torpedo tubes, and sonar, capabilities the Philippine Navy lacked. However, these are not state-of-the-art warships. Some advanced systems were removed before transfer. Their anti-air defenses are limited, making them vulnerable to sophisticated air attacks. The biggest leap is in doctrine and experience. Operating these ships will force the Navy to develop new tactics and skills. Even with some downgrades, the platforms are a huge step up. They provide a stable base for future upgrades as expertise and budgets grow. Compared to old patrol craft, the difference is night and day. The Abukuma-Class can engage targets over the horizon and hunt submarines, previously impossible for the Philippines. These ships, despite limitations, bring the Navy into the 21st century. They are a foundation for future modernization. The Philippine Navy now has real teeth. Receiving these warships is one thing. Operating them effectively is another. The first hurdle is training. These ships are far more complex than anything the Navy has used before. It will take years to develop experienced officers and crew, with help from Japan. Integration is another challenge. New doctrines, logistics, and command structures are needed. The Navy must coordinate with older vessels and other branches of the military. Modern warships are expensive to maintain. Sustained funding is essential. Without it, these ships could end up idle. The Navy must also undergo a cultural shift, from law enforcement to naval warfare and power projection. This requires new thinking, professionalism, and strategy. The success of this endeavor depends on the people as much as the technology. The Philippines must rise to meet this demanding standard. This deal cements a powerful new security alliance: the United States, Japan, and the Philippines. The transfer gives real substance to a trilateral partnership committed to a free and open Indo-Pacific. The US is the security guarantor, Japan the capacity builder, and the Philippines the frontline state. Strengthening the Philippine Navy shores up the region's weakest link, creating a robust security network. An attack on the Philippines now challenges Tokyo and Washington as well. Joint patrols, exercises, and intelligence sharing are increasing. A more capable Philippine Navy can challenge China's gray zone tactics. This trilateral cooperation extends to economic and diplomatic coordination. The three countries are building a multi-layered, resilient partnership. The warship deal is the military centerpiece of this strategic alignment. China views this development as a clear escalation and part of a US-led strategy to contain its rise. Expect public condemnation and accusations of provocation from Beijing. China may increase its naval presence and gray zone tactics in the West Philippine Sea. The risk of miscalculation or accidental clashes rises as more capable forces operate in close proximity. The stakes are higher than ever for Manila, Tokyo, Washington, and Beijing. The Philippines must prepare for heightened tension and confrontation, yet, a stronger Philippines may force China to negotiate from a position of strength. With leverage, the Philippines can push for a code of conduct in the South China Sea. The ultimate goal is stability and peaceful dispute management. This deal could be a step toward that, but the path is risky. The arrival of these warships places the Philippines at a crossroads. The nation now has a tool to reshape its destiny as a maritime power. The challenge: integrate, fund, and train to world-class standards. This is a test of national will and political resolve. The Philippines must prove it's a serious security partner, not just a US dependent. Success requires a long-term commitment to modernization. Other Southeast Asian nations are watching. This could be a blueprint for regional cooperation. The outcome will ripple across the Indo-Pacific. These ships are not a silver bullet, but they are an opportunity. The Philippines is choosing to be an author of its own future. The world is watching to see how it will use this new power.